Those boys love horses.
Yeah?
And they've had a chance to get to explore the desert a little bit. Vicky, you know, she started riding again, and she sits a horse pretty doggone good.
That's great. Everything's just kind of falling into place for you then.
Well, slow but sure, but I think things are going to work out.
I'm happy for you, big brother. I am. Happy for both of you.
Well, she's got a lot to forget, you know, and I think it's going to take a while. I mean, like the other day, I was taking pictures of the boys, and I glanced over, and well, she was watching me kind of funny, you know. I finally put it together. I mean, there I was with a camera, right? And she was thinking about Echo.
Well, these things, like you say, they're just going to take time.
Well, I hurt her pretty bad, you know. Of course, I'm doing my damnedest to make up for it.
Oh, okay. I've been looking all right. Clint, how you doing? Good to see you again.
I'm just in for the day. Got some business to take care of.
All right, all right.
What are you looking for us for?
Well, I got a little surprise for you. You're going to get a visitor.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Watch his head now. Okay. Becky Lee's upstairs resting. She's going to be down directly. There you go. Here you go. Oh, give him some of this.
There, cowboy. Huh? How you doing?
I guess he has a spitting image of you, I'm sorry to say.
Well, most people think, don't pay any attention to mean old uncle. What do you think, Pa, huh?
Oh, exactly what I told Becky Lee. Just looks like you. Spitting image of you.
Shoot, he's big old boy. What do you figure he's weighing now?
Well, he's 7 or 8 pounds. The way he's going, he's acting like a kid in high school who works in a beer factory.
Oh, yeah, he'll make linebacker easy, don't you think?
No, not him. No, he's not gonna play in that football. Get out there every weekend, huh? Getting your bell rung?
Wait a minute. I mean, you're not going to have the last word on that, boy.
Oh, are you gonna have the last word on that, old man?
Hold on here. I think maybe the kid will make up his own mind when the time comes, and there won't be anything either one of you can say about it.
Yeah, look at him. Look at him. Come on. Don't you ever smile?
Sure, he smiles. He got something nice to smile.
Do.
Hi. Any luck?
Nah, I'm really sorry about having to bow out of dinner tonight, okay?
Wait a minute, Bo. You got to eat.
I already made arrangements to meet with a private detective, Pat Murphy.
Bo, this is nonsense. Now, Delilah's not going to harm herself, and you know it.
I know, Clint. I agree with you, but you heard what Sam said. As weird as she's been acting, she's capable of doing about anything.
Only to get your attention.
I can't sit around and just do nothing, can I? If something horrible was to happen to her, I would rather spend the trouble of trying to find her now than to go through the rest of my life feeling guilty about it.
Bo, she is being manipulative. And every time you respond to it, you're just encouraging her to pull something else.
Clint, please. Bo knows that. I think he has to follow his conscience. Don't you agree, Vicky?
Yes, I do. Bo, honey, you go on. I'm sorry you can't stay, but I certainly understand.
I'll tell you what, this whole breakup's turned out to be more painful than if we'd have stayed together.
All right.
You get a rain check.
Yes, you do.
Look, if there's anything I can do to help, you let me know, all right? Yeah. Even though Delilah's probably lying on some beach, getting herself a beautiful tan.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I do. Sam?
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry you had to get involved in all this. I think it's for the best, though.
Yeah, listen, she just may call you again since she started with a call to you in the first place, just to see if I took the bait, all right? I'm going to be at home tonight after I talk to Murphy.
All right, if I hear from her.
Good. Good night, Joe.
Good night. Bye,
Take care, Bo.
It's such a shame. I mean, Delilah has got so much going for her.
Yes, except she seems to have some little problem with telling people the truth. I guess that spanking I gave her didn't do any good.
The what you gave her?
I turned her over my knee a couple weeks ago, and I gave her a spanking.
I don't believe you.
You're serious.
Yes, I'm serious. I got fed up with the way she has been carrying on lately, so I gave her a spanking. Now, she wants to act like a child. I'll treat her like a child.
Here, I've been sitting here wondering why she doesn't call or come over at all. Honey, you have no right to do that.
Clint, granted, all right, she is a pain right now, but she has her reasons for spanking. She's an adult.
Well, I would like to see her start acting like one.
But this is not a situation where you can be judge and jury. Whether you like it or not, the woman is obviously very deeply in love with Bo.
Yes. You know, sometimes I've been trying to figure out what was missing from her life before Bo came along. Because when she found him, she latched onto him so tight.
Oh, I know. Whatever the reasons, the emotions are very real. There's no denying that.
Wait a minute. I feel very badly for anyone with serious emotional problems, but I don't know where to draw the line here. I don't know just how much she plans and how much she can't help.
Well, all right, you know, sometimes just being with her is really scary. Her mood swings go from one extreme to the other. And this is all that I'm worried about. What could happen if she does go over the deep end while we all sit around saying that she's just playing a game?
Well, is she still seeing your father?
Yeah, but, you know, Daddy won't say anything about it. I think from talking to her that she has all these fantasies and that she's just trying to turn them into reality.
So it's entirely conceivable that she could have a fantasy that a suicide attempt would bring Bo back.
Maybe. I'm still not convinced. Well, listen, I'll be glad to make myself scarce if you'd like to see her alone.
Wouldn't you just love that? No, thank you very much. She specifically said she wanted to speak to both of us.
Excuse me, madam, Mrs. Callison is here.
Thank you, Heron. Show her in, please.
Very good.
Somehow I don't have a good feeling about this.
I can't imagine why.
Mrs. Callison.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Dorian, good morning.
Morning, Mrs. Callison.
Come in, Dorian. May I offer you some coffee or a croissant?
No, thank you. I'm not going to stay very long. Besides, I don't want to impose.
It's no imposition, believe me. Please sit down.
Thank you.
Did either of you happen to see my editorial last night?
I can't say as we did, no.
Oh, I'll send you a transcript. I delivered it myself at the end of the 11 o'clock news.
What was the subject?
The San Carlos situation.
Getting pretty far afield, aren't you? I didn't realize foreign affairs was your cup of tea.
Well, not normally, though I have been to San Carlos, so I'm hardly a neophyte.
Yes, I remember that. What was that? 2-3 years ago? Of course, things move pretty fast down there.
Well, audience reaction was almost unanimously positive, judging from the phone calls that we received.
I take it you're on the side of the military.
I am on the side of President Guerrera because he is our only hope of stopping the communists from taking over San Carlos. By the way, Vicky, I think the Banner ought to do a strong editorial on the subject. The situation down there is terrifying.
Oh, I agree with you. It is terrifying. And, in fact, I think we have already done something on the subject. But I will read your transcript with great interest.
Thank you. Well, all of this is quite beside the point. It's not why I've come here. This is a bit difficult for me. I think maybe it's perhaps difficult for a lot of people to admit when they are wrong. It's especially difficult for me.
Well, maybe that's because you always believe you are so right, no matter what the consequences.
Yes, I do deserve that, I suppose. Though I feel especially uncomfortable in this situation because my relationship, the very trust of two people that I respect highly, is at stake here. Vicky, were you about to say something?
I wouldn't interrupt you for the world.
What I am trying to articulate here is that I am very sorry, and I hope that you will accept my apology.
Dorian, you're talking about your testimony at Clint's hearing, aren't you?
Yes, of course I am.
Well, then I think you should address yourself to Clint, not me.
Well, I feel that I owe you an apology, Vicky. I mean, my testimony caused you a great deal of pain. And I was mistaken, tragically mistaken. Though may I say, I honestly felt that I was telling the truth because, I mean, my testimony was based on what I thought I truly did see. Though I should have realized that it couldn't possibly be true. I should have realized that from the very beginning.
I dare say you should have.
Yes.
Dorian, I appreciate your coming here. I know how hard that must have been for you.
Clint, you have no idea how long I have been agonizing over
Well,
this.
stop agonizing and put yourself to rest. Okay? I accept your apology, and I thank you for coming.
I could have just written a note, but I felt that it would be more courageous to come here and talk to you both face to face. Thank you. You're being very generous.
Well, I must say I'm very glad that you feel you can come and talk to us about it, Dorian. Thank you.
Well, I'm sure you have to go to your office, and I have to get to the television studio.
We won't keep you then. Karen! Thank you again for coming, Dorian.
Madam?
Would you show Mrs. Callison out, please?
Mrs. Callison.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Dorian.
Goodbye, Dorian. Well, that was humility you heard on the phone.
Or what passes for it in her world. I have to say, I thought you were very generous.
Oh, come on now. How could I not forgive her?
Nice to come home for lunch every once in a while, isn't it?
Sure is.
Excuse me, Mr. Buchanan, Mrs. Buchanan.
Yes, Aaron?
Well, something occurred last night that I feel that I should bring to your attention.
What is it?
Well, I met someone who was talking about Mrs. Callison's television editorial. I mean, doubtless you are both aware that...
Oh, yes, we are.
Oh, very much so.
And now I don't know whether it's cause and effect or not, but it seems that someone has become very interested in Mrs. Callison and not in a very desirable way. And I don't want to burden you with it. But, well, last night on my way home from the cinema, I stopped off at the Gander and Thistle, and a stranger at the bar struck up a conversation with me. And after a few moments, I realized that I was being interrogated.
Interrogated?
What do you mean?
Well, he opened the conversation in such a curious way. I mean, by commenting on Mrs. Callison's editorial. The news was on the television in the back room, you see. And then casually he asked if I had once been in Mrs. Callison's employ.
How would he have known that?
Well, he said that we had a mutual friend who was in service to Colonel Hutchinson.
Oh, Harding.
Yes, madam.
Well, that's easy enough to check out.
Well, actually, no, Mr. Buchanan.
No, Harding died about a year ago.
Oh, really? I see. Go on, Harry.
Well, then he began to question me about Mrs. Callison personally. Her daughter, Mr. Callison, her political background, I mean, all sorts of things. I mean, of course, and I wasn't able to help him there because I never thought of her as being a political person.
What did he look like?
I don't know. He was reasonably well-dressed, mid-40s. Anyway, when I finished my pint and I got up to leave, I said to him that I was happy to have made his acquaintance, and I asked him his name, and he said Walpole, and that he lived in Ballasinwood. Well, now, I didn't believe him for a moment. So before I left the pub, I checked the telephone book, and you know what I found?
No Walpole and Ballasinwood.
Correct, sir. Well, I must admit I feel a bit like the boy who cried wolf. And yet, on the other hand, I feel dreadful if something happened to Mrs. Callison and I hadn't warned her that someone was skulking about asking questions. Well, may I leave it to you to decide how this problem should be handled?
Of course, Harry. Yes.
Thank you very much for telling us, Aaron.
Not at all, ma'am.
You know, if they ever make another remake of Sherlock Holmes, Aaron could play Dr. Watson to the hilt.
He might possibly be a bit of an alarmist. But on the other hand, apparently Dorian was really breathing fire in that editorial last night, and it's quite possible that she has provoked someone. I'm afraid I agree with Aaron. I don't really want to see anything happen to her. I think I'm going to go over and talk to her and warn her, see if I can't get her to back off on this San Carlos thing altogether. Who knows, after her display of contrition this morning, there's not too much to hope that she might listen to me, too, for once.
Coming.
Jenny.
Hi.
Come in.
Thanks.
I have to tell you, you are the last person I expected over here this evening.
Well, I was asked to bring you something, and I also felt that our argument got a little out of hand.
I should have kept my mouth shut, or at least just quietly expressed my opinion and let it go. I'm sorry.
And the reason I got so angry was, well, you were right. I'm going to miss the kids a lot.
See, I know you are, and that's what bothers me.
And before we get into this again...
We are going to change the subject very quickly. What have you got there?
Sherry drew these. If you can't recognize us, it's a picture of you and me bobbing for apples.
No, I can recognize it.
And there is Zorro.
I'll tell you, I would like that one very much. Is that possible?
It's yours.
Thank you.
You can put it on your refrigerator with a magnet. That's what parents have to do when their kids bring home artwork.
I know. Isn't it amazing how most fine art in a home winds up on the front of the refrigerator? That's just great. Can I get you a drink?
No, thanks. I've got to go by the hotel and see if it's still standing after the seance.
Seem to be very popular this evening. Excuse me.
Sure.
I like that.
It's a pirate and a gladiator! Get in here quick! Close the doors! Our mother lurking around anywhere!
Mother!
Hi!
How nice to see you.
See you.
David, I'm sorry to disturb you, but they refused to go home until they saw you.
Oh, I'm glad. Now, let's see. You got some heavy loot here. Now, I don't know what I have that can,
remember those 2 candy bars you asked me to keep for you in my purse? They were especially for Kevin and Joey.
Thank you very much. I forgot where I put these. Here you go, guys. What do you say?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, now that you have seen David, can we please go home?
No, wait a minute. Can't you stay a little while?
No, we cannot. They are exhausted, and I am not much better. We have hit a lot of houses tonight. We'll talk tomorrow, though. Come on, boys.
I can't tomorrow. I have to be in Washington to audition an oboist, but soon.
Okay, very good.
Al, I'm on my way out, so I'll go out with you.
Good, Jenny. It's nice to see you.
Good to see you. I don't see enough of you. We're going to have to do something about that.
Well, why don't you come over for dinner? I'll talk to Clint, and we'll arrange a date, okay?
Great.
Come on, let's all go.
Thanks.
Good night, David, and sorry to have put you on the spot.
Oh, please. Will you all come back when you can stay a little longer, okay?
We will do just that. Good night. Say good night, boys.
Good night, boys.
Bye. Good night. Night.
Jenny, thank you very much for saving me with Kevin and Joey.
Sure. I just didn't want to help you wash the soap off your window.
Appreciate that.
Thanks for coming to the party.
Thanks for coming over here tonight.
Night.
Good night.